My name is Bindschadler. I'm one of the leaders of the Indivisible California 33 chapter, and I invite any of you who are interested in joining us for our monthly meetings to look us up on the web at indivisibleca33.org. That'll give you links to how you get to our Facebook group and how you can be invited to our meetings, as well as our email list. If you don't like Facebook, we have an email-only list as well. Welcome to our Happy Blue Year kickoff. Here we are, 3 days into 2019. But I want you to think back to about 2 years ago, when we all felt like we were lost in a political wilderness. The GOP was in full control of the House and the Senate and the presidency. Our health care was being threatened. Muslims were being banned from entering our country. Immigrants who built lives here were being put at risk. Climate change was being scoffed at. Voter ID laws were being used to suppress the voices of minorities and young people, because that isn't the demographic that the Republican Party wanted them to be voting. America was slouching toward authoritarianism, driven by a toxic stew of dark money from billionaires and by a minority of this country who are more concerned with white privilege and the patriarchy than they are with a robust middle class and a vibrant multicultural America. Like many of you, I saw this new administration as a threat to the promise of America. If they were allowed to continue, then instead of a shining city on a hill, people would find a rusted iron gate, barred and locked, and a sign saying no admittance. But you and I and hundreds of thousands of people across the country refuse to accept this, refuse to accept the degradation of America. We found a document written by a small group of congressional staffers, led by Lieu and Ezra Levin, called the Indivisible Guide. And we read it. And we organized, we formed groups. We debated policy and priorities amongst ourselves, but we remembered that we were indivisible. We held protests in town halls. We met with our representatives and our senators, and we told them what we needed them to do for us. We took back our democracy, and we need to continue doing that. And then, less than 2 months ago, we flipped the House. A 40-seat swing. 7 of those seats came from California, and 5 of them in Southern California alone. Yeah, give yourselves a hand, because you did that. You did that. Yes. You and thousands of other people who phoned and texted complete strangers, who wrote millions, literally millions of postcards, who learned how to knock on doors and turn a stranger into a voter and an ally, who gave generously of your time and your money to make this all happen. You did this. You decided that our government needed to be responsive to you and I and all of us, to we the people, more than it needs to be responsive to paid lobbyists and billionaires. That to make a more just America, you needed to step up and advocate for all of us, for those whose rights and sometimes even their lives are threatened by this administration. Today, in the House of Representatives, our newly elected Democratic majority will take up H.R. 1, a bill to put more power back in the hands of its citizens. H.R. 1 is going to establish automatic voter registration. It's going to reinvigorate the Voting Rights Act, which is a cornerstone to making our country more just. It's going to stop excessive gerrymandering that the Republican Party has put in place. It will overturn Citizens United and reduce the influence of dark money, even if it doesn't solve it. It will expand and strengthen government ethics. Obviously, something that's desperately needed in these times. I saw this morning that they're starting an investigation of the outgoing Interior Secretary Zinke Yeah, because it's just too much, even for this Republican administration to take. We need to rebuild the foundations of our democracy. We need to give power back to the majority of the people so that we can address issues like health care and climate change, immigration, and poverty and economic justice. Because the arc of history doesn't bend toward justice all on its own. It's the dedication and hard work of each of you and our fellow citizens that will turn it away from injustice, misogyny, and racial prejudice, and toward a better America. Thank you all, and here's to a happy Blue 2019.